Hello Capricorn, we're going to do your May Practically Soulful reading. This is your first time viewing this channel. Thank you for being here first and foremost. My name is Ali. My work at Indigo Ascension as an energy healer and intuitive reader, you can find out a little bit more about all of that in the links below to my website and my Facebook page. I do fortnightly and monthly readings on the channel, and the channel is dedicated to those that identify as empaths, intuitives and sensitives, those that might be on an awakening journey. And specifically with these monthly readings, what I call Practically Soulful is about grounding down into the everyday reality that we all find ourselves in, those higher wisdoms, higher knowing, higher consciousness, understanding of ourselves, how we embody our higher self, how do we bridge 3D and 5D, you know, how do we bridge mainstream and soul. I think that is a very big part of our journey in awakening and in understanding and ascending out of old paradigms. So that's what the purpose of these readings are for. They are centered around your sun sign, because your sun sign is your core, okay? Your soul purpose, if you like, is what I like to refer it to. Our soul lessons and journeying. So, but in your fortnightly readings, I used to do weekly readings. They're now changed to fortnightly. So in the fortnightly readings, I do encourage zodiacs to go and explore your natal chart, because your natal chart offers you multi-dimensional aspects of yourself, okay? You are more than just your sun sign. You're also a rising sign, a moon sign, a Venus sign. However, with the monthlies, I do encourage you, when it comes to your soul path, your higher wisdom, your core essence, it is fundamentally targeted at your sun sign. But by all means, head towards any reading that resonates. You know, you might be drawn to the title or whatever the case may be. All time is fluid, okay? So just because I say this is for the month of May, this energy may have already activated within your awareness, within your journey in the last month or two. It might be permeating and it might be more of a prophetic message as a heads up, okay, of what is to come. So the timeline is fluid, as are we and our journey in multidimensionality. All right, Capricorn, let's take a look at what soul wants to have to say or let you become aware of this month. Purpose, connecting into purpose. Above this is the energy of loneliness and the lessons and wisdoms around that. Underneath all this is the energy of forgiveness. In the past is patience, and in the future is guilt. Let's talk about patience, okay? And of course, underneath all of this, Capricorn, is the energy of surrender, which is quite fundamentally difficult when it comes to you as your core sun sign. Capricorns, you know, in the tarot, you are represented by the Devil card. Is that bad? No, you are fundamentally about reaching a point of genuine power when it comes to the ego side of our reality, the human side of our spiritual experience, you know. In spiritual terms and lessons and wisdoms, I think in many ways our culture, our society has almost pushed aside our humanity or our desire for material abundance, our desire for material success, into the shadow elements. And yeah, you know, imbalance can happen anywhere. Imbalance can happen if I meditate too much, because I'm using it as an escapism tool from facing my reality, from facing my responsibilities. So by all means, the Devil card is such a powerful card in the tarot, and it links in, the reason I'm mentioning this is because it links into this energy of patience that you've recently come out of. Either side of that coin, whether you've been impatient or you've been having to nurture patience in a different way. And it also centers on your purpose, okay? So in the tarot, you are symbolized by that Devil card, which is bound and tied to this energy of I am committed to my goal no matter what. That is something that you guys are so patient about, fundamentally seeing through rain, hail or shine. You will set yourself the most highest peak of a mountain as a goal, and knowing yourself deeply at your core that you will commit to seeing that through, that vision, that idea, that hope, that dream. You will not sleep until you until you get that, you know. And yes, in many ways the challenge there is balancing the other elements of self, Capricorn, balancing the other elements of self and your nurturing needs, your needs to be nurtured, your needs to meet your emotional levels, your energetic levels, your spiritual levels, your soul levels. Yeah, you are fundamentally a master of that realm of the coins, you know, that realm of practicality and manifesting in the physical. But there's this process that involves cognitive and emotional and spiritual and higher knowing that must be incorporated and balanced in order for you to truly come into this crux of your purpose. I feel like I'm connecting to Capricorns that are reviewing their purpose and your visions you've had to date for yourself and your journey, where to moving forward. I'm connecting into Capricorns that are redefining their purpose, or it's becoming crystal clear, and I keep hearing a 3-year journey. So since 2017, in many ways, this original vision has been tweaked, it's taken form, it's had this chart process where you've had 1 step forward, 2 steps back. None of this has ever been a delay because it was ultimately led by soul purpose. If you felt like you detoured from your path for one reason or another, it afforded you an opportunity to get in contact with these. I'm really connecting into some Capricorns here that you need to understand that, sorry, that sounds really forceful. Nothing has been a pushback, nothing has been a delay, especially in the last 3 years, okay? I want you to think of that bow and arrow, okay? The more life has pulled you back, and this journey might even expand further than the last 3 years. It might have been all those times you were pulled back in life before that time launched you from 2017. Feels really significant, Cappy. Launched you to where you are today, and this, any delays, any hiccups, any step backs in that time frame in the last 3 years has been of purpose to get you back to blueprint, to check in with yourself, to see about these other elements. Because remember what I said at the start, you fundamentally are the master of the material realm, the physical realm, manifesting in that coin energy. And that's more than just finances, it's tangible results of your dreams, your goals, and manifesting in the physical. You are the mastermind at that, okay? You have that ability, that is your purpose. But there are many other, it's almost like perhaps you always hit roadblocks when it comes to your emotions, or you always hit roadblocks when it comes to actually like even your energy levels on a physical level, or feeling that disconnect in certain relationships, connections, friendships, but really when you were just disconnected from source, from soul, from spiritual knowing, yeah? All these pullbacks, all these things that have been trying to get your attention, all these delays have serve the purpose of trying to get your attention to other elements that are necessary so that you can continue to travel, because you can travel at a super fast pace, Cappy, when it comes to manifesting on the physical, okay? But there's these other key ingredients, yeah? If I'm making a cake and I miss the sugar, or it's going to taste different, or if I'm, you know what I mean? There's key elements that make up the greater whole. And I come across this amazing quote recently that we can complain and say we don't have the cake, we don't have that final, I just want my cake, I'm trying to manifest my cake. But all along on the kitchen bench, I've had every single ingredient I've needed to make it myself. There's something here about manifestation, Capricorn, that I feel I need to tell you about. You've had everything all along. Everything has been of purpose, those delays, the hiccups, the sudden realizations about connections, what you're learning about yourself through these delays, through these misunderstandings, through these, because you're used to that trajectory energy and you can actually sustain through so much. You can actually persevere. You've got a really resilient nature about you that can see you through anything. But I feel like there's this common thing that occurs to the Capricorns I'm connecting to, that you feel like there's a missing ingredient, or what am I missing? Why can't I? Well, you used to know how to do this and now it feels different. I feel like the last 3 years are pivotal in you exploring other elements of yourself, in you exploring ways in which to better what you already know how to do so well, okay, is what I do want to say. Above this is the energy of loneliness. You know, you are really good at being able to be that solitary figure that stands unto themselves. You don't have to, you are the CEO of the zodiac, you know, you answer to no one, you are the leader, and perhaps it can be quite challenging to come out of the everyday character and role we have always played when we have a need to be taught, to be led on some level, because something is new for us, because you are naturally that leader. Maybe you've always played that role in your life, or you've always taken charge and taken responsibility and taking care of things, yeah? So when you find yourself in a position where you actually have a need, and I'm not even considering that it's anything to do with things you know how to do like the back of your hand. This is other stuff that you perhaps haven't even addressed. The way you deal with emotions, the way you fundamentally want to perhaps heal from the past, or really integrate this energy of forgiveness so that you can fulfill your purpose, and how you truly surrender to the unknown. Because you are the to-do list, you are that project graph, the timeline project, you know, the project timeline, I should say. So to be able to say to someone that it really embodies that energy, just surrender. No, in a Capricorn, at their core, they know there is just a process to things. And it's almost like you are releasing and surrendering to new ways of believing, because perhaps society and the world, your upbringing, your family, your culture has taught you that success equals hard work. And maybe in the last 3 years, your body has been screaming at you to really nurture it in another way, to pay attention to something else that might sustain you on an emotional or spiritual level even. And you watch how it I can feel, like I can see it, and it's actually really hard to describe in English. Not that I'm going to say it in another language. When I see visions, I find it so challenging at times. It's taken years and years to obviously get to a level of mastery of being able, but it's so much data that I can see, hear, experience, feel, pictures, words, everything. And then I've got to then ground that down into a fluid sentence that makes sense. But what I'm trying to say, Cappy, is that there's something here that you have always done so very well, and it's almost like you pushed aside something that you knew that you had to address, or you perhaps felt it wasn't important to address. And the last 3 years have been key. And in addressing that, in surrendering to this, whether it's your emotions, whether it's a new way of approaching, or even redefining what your purpose and your goals are that truly satisfy you on every level, not just certain levels, you know. It's challenging when we've been shaped in such a way that we think that hard work will always lead us to success. Why don't I feel successful no matter how hard I work then? You know, maybe success has been trying to be redefined by you, regardless of the environments in which you were grown and nurtured in. On some deeper levels, you know what you are here to do. And I think Capricorn's going to be feeling very conflicted if they're suddenly faced with, that was an original plan, now I don't want to do that. It's a hard letting go. It is a hard letting go of a project that has not reached its culmination in or within or under your old terms. Because like I said before, it's that resilience, perseverance energy. You will see something right the way through until it's done, regardless if you want to be there or not. And it takes a lot of internal conflict for you to process through in order to let something go before its completion time. I know what I'm here to do. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. I know that I am never alone. I feel like I'm connecting to Capricorns that are really harnessing this energy of what loneliness really means, seeking guidance in connection perhaps, and forgiving themselves for not wanting to or not knowing how to connect in the ways that they have needed to in the past, and what you're definitely needing now. Releasing this energy of forgiveness. And it's easy as an outsider to say, just forgive. It doesn't work like that. It can take years, months, weeks of processing this forgiveness energy until we get to a point that is on our terms, Capricorn. It is not about forgiving someone else. It is about forgiving ourselves fundamentally, you know. And if it's about things like forgiving myself for being impatient because I have not yet found my purpose or achieved my goals when it comes to my purpose, it's about releasing the reins. You know, would you talk to your loved one like that? Would you talk to a child like that? It's about loving ourselves and forgiving ourselves, being compassionate with self in the same way we would do for someone that we love. I really see here you need to surrender, because the next wave that's coming through for you is this energy of guilt. Like, there is this burdensome energy. I release any beliefs that no longer assist my soul's growth. Guilt. There are so many layers to guilt. Whether we feel we need to be forgiven underneath all of this, whether we need to forgive ourselves for soaring and achieving so much in spite of those around us, we feel like we're shining too brightly. You know, you have a purpose to fulfill, and you are connecting strongly into this. This is very hermit energy as well, the loneliness card. We could be surrounded by people, but going deep within the recess of our heart and our intuitive knowing to truly discover what this is, what is the intention behind every choice I have ever made. What has led me to where I am today? What is my bigger why? Who's a part of that picture? Do you have a reason for your why? Who is it for? I hope you are included in that, and it's not just your loved ones or your young family or whatever the case may be. There's a bigger why to your purpose that you are connecting into this month, and you might even be redefining this whole damn thing, which is huge in itself. And it requires that introspective energy. It requires the magic of surrender and allowing your faith in the journey to just unfold and becoming aware of it in the moment as it happens, as it rises within your awareness. I release any beliefs that no longer assist my soul's growth. Because we can, on some subconscious levels, feel guilty because we're not following a family value system or a culture or a belief that we were raised in by our society. Because we are so different, we see things so different. We might see a new opportunity and a new way of looking at things. We might see a bigger picture. Release the guilt this month, Capricorn, that makes you feel bound to not wanting to shine your true light when it comes to your purpose. Despite the connections around you, release the guilt, because it is for you. It is for them on some level that you'll be inspired to get to where you are today and to where you want to go, yeah? The intention underneath every decision is always fundamentally about love, you know? That there's no need to feel guilty, because if we don't want to shine and meet our true self, meet our true purpose and achieve those things, then we're also fundamentally showing those that we love and care for, those we are an example to, because you are a leader. We are passing on that message. And is that the legacy you want to leave, Capricorn? Is that the legacy you want to leave to your loved ones? That it's not worth the investment of shaking everything up and fulfilling purpose. It's not worth the investment of releasing guilt or surrendering to forgiveness, because underneath that it frees us, yeah? It frees our soul, it frees our heart, it frees our mind. It frees our bloody mind, doesn't it? Okay, my dear, let's take a look at what the tarot wants to say. Capricorn, what are we on? 18 minutes. Did a card just flip? This is deep purpose stuff. I'm connecting into Capricorns that are like tiptoeing into this new venture, wanting to tip their toes back into an old dream, an old goal. You reached a standstill or a pause, chose to not shine your light because you were delayed. You might have been delayed by things and obstacles that were placed on your path, people influencing your choices. Choosing love over purpose. But now is the time to choose purpose because of love, is what I want to say. Okay. 3 of Pentacles. There's a new beginning here, an investment, an apprenticeship. something that you want to invest in, a new chapter. Wow. Seven of Pentacles, something you want to work on. The Queen of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, emotional fulfillment, emotional nurture, nurturing the emotions, a mother figure. Felt like I had to thoroughly shuffle your cards. Ten of Wands, Page of Cups, the Star, the Hierophant, Knight of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles. There's a lot of children here. There's youthful energy. The King of Cups, the Ace of Swords, the Four of Cups, the Sun, the Emperor. Wow. Underneath all this, my dear Cappy, is the King of Swords. You really are coming, underneath all this, the energy and the gift of the month is for you to really get clear strong mental clarity, because there's the Ace of Swords here as well, about the journey to date and getting some clarity on the opportunities you didn't take up and the opportunities that are presenting themselves for you to truly step into creating this kingdom so that you feel like the emperor of your domain, whether you are male or female. This could also point to the most important man in your life, okay? Partner, brother, father figure. All right, but it's this divine masculine energy that you're getting some clarity on this month is what but in order to get there, okay, in order to get there, you really need to release some burdens that weren't yours to carry. Whether it simply is this energy of guilt, whether it is this energy of forgiveness and choosing to surrender. I'm surrendering this energy of the Ten of Swords. As empaths, we can naturally want to fix, heal, carry, and do things for people, and we play this role where I'll be the leader, I'll be the fixer, I'll be the carer, whatever the case is, Cappy. You know, it's time to drop some of the things that aren't yours to carry. And when it comes to love, it is because we love people that we want them to know that not only can they have a fish that we give them, but more importantly, we want them to know that they can fish for themselves. Because when I'm not here, I need to know that they can look after themselves, yeah? We do that in all of our relationships, and the person that doesn't is the one that's carrying this. You know, there's responsibilities, bills, things, duties that you can actually let go of this month that are going to free you up. These thoughts and feelings that keep you bound from truly shining and connecting into purpose. It's time to surrender them, okay? That's your gift, getting mentally clear, because it's going to free up that fogginess and the indecisiveness that you might be carrying this month too, okay? Thanks to the King of Swords. There's something to Cups, okay? It's an apology. It might even be a youthful energy that is a water sign, okay? So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. It might point to a child of that zodiac now, but this is an apology first and foremost. I have to forgive myself. I have to apologize to myself for carrying this load, yeah? For seeing myself clearly, why I feel motivated to be that. Why do I feel like I need to do that? Who taught me that? What are my deeper shadow aspects that I'm learning by doing that? Is it because I want to feel needed, or because I want to feel that I'm of service? Because that's what a good person does? Am I seeking approval on some level? If I continually do and achieve, it means X, Y, Z, or whatever the case may be. This is about you redefining purpose this month, Cappy, you know, and releasing the things that are, it's the dead weight. Beliefs, cultures, ideas, dreams that were tied to an old version of you, ultimately grown in an environment that you are no longer a part of. There's some spiritual healing here after this energy of forgiveness or apology, whether someone's expressing that to you, whether you express that to someone else or yourself. Okay, there's this unification, and maybe this energy activated in Aquarius season for you, which was in January, just after your birthday. Okay, January into February. This Aquarian energy is about balancing what is practical, represented by the land, what is tangible that we can really manifest. It's about balancing our emotions and our creative energy, our feeling energy, so that we can create change, bring that down into the practical. But it's also guided by the cosmos and something outside of ourselves. There's this beautiful balancing and healing that's happened in this triad energy of the star, you know, the cosmos, heaven, you know, earth, and our emotional waters, our emotional experience, and how we flow. This flow, that cognitive, creative, goal-achieving process I talked to you about at the start of the reading when I said there was a key ingredient that was missing here. So maybe that clue can be found here in the energy of the star. Something impacted either here or within the emotions or within your practical reality, where a job was lost or money came back or money was taken, whatever the case may be. Something was a gift in one of these realms of your being, within your realms of being, okay, that activated some healing for you, and it is now time to let something go, to say sorry, to work with this energy of forgiveness and to let go. Okay, maybe that's already recently happened. That sits in the first week of May, but that time frame can sit anywhere. Maybe you're becoming aware of that. The Two of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, and the Hierophant. The Hierophant represents Taurus energy. The Nine of Cups, again, is a water sign, so Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and the Two of Pentacles is an earth sign. It's actually the Two of Coins is you. It's a Capricorn energy. Now, the Hierophant is a spiritual relationship, a relationship of a higher order. It's marriage, it's commitment. I'm juggling these themes. I'm wanting to offer my cup of love. I'm wanting to settle down. It's also youthful in the emotional realms, okay? Maybe there's a gift and a blessing in the first couple of weeks of May that sees us want to form stronger commitments, or at least weigh up the concept. Something has to go in order for something to remain or to come in, is what I want to say. This is also an investment card, okay? What I want, I must genuinely want to invest in, okay? We have to pay in order to receive. We have to give in order to get. There's something here that you want. There's something here that someone wants that looks like a higher level, or that next level of commitment, or some sort of spiritual connection that is grounded in emotional love, okay? Emotional equal reciprocity. Someone's wanting to offer their cup of love. And it's youthful, okay? When I say youthful, it could be a refresh in a current relationship. It could be a new chapter in a relationship, an existing relationship. It could be a new relationship altogether after a time of this letting go and surrendering and feeling lonely. Whatever the case may be, Capricorn, apply it to your story, okay? And I feel I'm speaking to Capricorns that are tossing up and weighing up one life over another. The corporate, material success versus, you know, happy home life and family. How do I juggle? Why have I always felt that one thing had to go so that I could have another? And I kept coming against the same brick walls in my journey. There's higher principles at play here, thanks to the Hierophant. This is the priest. There are higher principles and wisdoms at play for you this month in order to understand how you've had this chart energy that I've talked about, especially in the last 3 years, that you were noticing life was pressing pause, pulling you back, making you look at other areas, because you've always approached life, success, achievement, and working hard and equated it to one thing. But maybe there was never enough time for love or genuine connectivity or exploring your soul purpose, Capricorn, you know. Take that however it resonates, but guaranteed by the end of the month, the final 2 weeks, there is amazing, strong clarity. And you know what? There is such a graduation of of Cups energy. Look at this. There's the Page of Cups. Then there's the Knight of Cups. They are youthful, okay? Child, adolescent perhaps, young adult. And then there's the King of Cups. This month for you, you are achieving emotional mastery when you surrender. This idea of having guilt or impatience, or needing to forgive or forgive oneself, or extending forgiveness. Constantly feeling like I have to juggle one thing with another, okay? what you achieve this month within yourself, because this perhaps was always about emotional equilibrium and balance and nurturing that within yourself, and you probably only recognized how important that was to you. In order for you to get complete clarity and see the opportunities for what they are when they are presented to you, this is how you end your month, okay, with the Sun and the Emperor. My God, male or female, you cannot get any more clear that this individual very strongly knows who they are, what their purpose is, and what they want. And maybe this journey of release, of surrendering, of processing guilt, of connecting into purpose, or revisioning, re-imaging what your purpose is, was so that you can feel like this again. Because this is who you are. You are that, okay? I know this is the Aries card, but Capricorn, when it comes to the zodiacs, you know, you are the CEO. And if I think of that energy, I automatically think of the Emperor. If I'm going to ask who's running this project, who's running this show, everyone's going to tell me you got to go see that guy or girl, lady or man. There's clarity here, and you are cutting away. The last year has been significant. The next year and what you can achieve and fulfill for yourself in tangible form, based on this newfound emotional mastery and balance and equilibrium within self. Because I can imagine, as a Capricorn, you are not going, your first choice in the whole world, if there was a list of things to do, would not be to get in contact with your emotional body, perhaps, okay? Depending on what your moon sign and your Venus signs are. You're not one to express vulnerability when it comes to emotion and needs and feeling like, goodness, I don't quite know what to do here, despite how good I am here, and here. There's something I need to learn here. And this is that infancy of the Page of Cups, which graduates into the Knight of Cups, Cappy, and finishes with the King of Cups. This emotional mastery. There is a softening when it comes to the way in which you experience your emotional body this month, how free you allow yourself to surrender to what it truly is for you. Connecting into our emotions naturally activates our creative energy, which hits as an action step. You are so good at that manifestation of an action step, but it's more potent when that is driven by emotion and not perhaps just a material surface idea of what success is. We're deeply connecting on an emotional level to what our purpose, our why, who this is all for. Name your goals, name your mountain, name your list of achievements. Who is it for? What is it for? What legacy are you leaving? Underneath it all, it is for love. You need to feel emotionally driven by the desires that you have. You need to feel and sustain those emotions within you and not repress them, not feel guilty for having them, not feeling guilty for wanting to experience emotional expression in your life, connecting into what emotionally sustains you. There's this guilt, this weighing up of success versus family time, success versus genuinely connecting. There's this guilt you've been battling with, and you watch how that graduates into a more emotional, mature way of viewing and perceiving and feeling your way through experiences. I feel there's a massive reset for you, Cappy, in many ways, and by redefining what your purpose is and your why, it might completely change the whole scene. It might tweak a few things, but there's a graduation in the emotional body and experience of self, and ultimately satisfaction in life, okay? There's great clarity and things will go. A lot of things will go. There's going to be a tangible aspect here. When the Page of Pentacles shows up, and I do want to say there are children involved here. You've got 2 pages, okay? So there might be a couple of kids involved. You might work with children, around children. It might be for the next generation, whatever it is you're doing. There's definitely a youthful view and perception of self and purpose, okay? So take that energy however it resonates, practically or metaphorically. But the Page of Pentacles brings with us a tangible offer of a beginning that is embedded in emotional mastery and clarity, thanks to the Ace of Swords and the King of Cups. Guys, come here. Sorry, with forgiveness comes an opportunity to truly experience that, you know. Like I said earlier, there is no guilt. Hey, come here, please. I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to pause this video. Come on. That's enough. Come on, guys. Stop barking. Oh. Come here. Come on. Radar, come here. Radar, who's always on the radar. That's enough. No barking, mate. Okay, when we release guilt, which ultimately keeps us bound, and that could be anything, in the confines of the mind, in the confines of not truly connecting into what our emotional body is trying to tell us, you know, releasing guilt, surrendering to redefining that, just because we've lived a life based on a belief, a system that made us look at ourselves and life in a certain way, and now we're doing it this way, and it's completely different to what I was grown up with. It's completely different to what society taught me. There's clarity here, no doubt, for you this month, Cappy. There's the Ace of Swords, and there's also the Sun. You know, you're getting strong clarity. The sun shines on you. You watch what you can achieve by the time your next birthday rolls around. And I feel like in many ways, since your birthday recently, that was about this alchemical process happening for you. You know, your solar return would have been this, hey, Capricorn, guess what we're going to do this year, so that by the time your next birthday runs in, you're going to be at this next level of your soul journey. And it was about you meeting your emotional body, because I'm now remembering your readings from the last couple of months, and how perhaps when it comes to love, or offers of love, expressions of love, or offers that emotionally sustain you, you have held back a little bit. Maybe you weren't sure how to experience your emotions. Maybe you weren't sure how to, respond, take up offers that might have made you vulnerable. Maybe you weren't quite ready to see the value in the coming together of the cups and the gift of the one cup, the Ace of Cups. Yeah, there's a new beginning here, and you are going to take it, because I do want to say, in traditional tarot, okay, the Four of Cups here is not focused on that cup that is being offered by the divine, that is coming out of the sky. See the hand that's holding it? There's a hand holding that massive cup, and he's looking directly up at it. In other decks, in other tarot decks, he's focused on the three. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. The times that I was having fun, the times that we were coming together and feeling love and celebrating. But in this deck, Capricorn, in this deck, my dear, he sees that cup that is coming out of nowhere. There is an emotional reset. There is a refreshing, a love, an abundance that's coming from the divine for you, that is ultimately going to light up your sky. This might be in connection to a male figure. This might be in connection to your empire, your business, your experience of your kingdom, okay? It might be your home, your hearth. There's an offer of love here that creates a lot of clarity, a lot of life force revitalization thanks to the sun. Without the sun, none of us would be here. Without love, without emotions, Capricorn, that creative process of change, of growing, of persisting through challenging times so that we can still achieve those goals. Without our emotions, we wouldn't have that continued drive. We would also always be feeling left unfulfilled on some level, if it wasn't completely fueled by a strong knowing of our purpose, connected into stronger emotions that are guiding us through these choices we're making with strong mental clarity. Yeah, we need to be fulfilled on all levels when we want to genuinely connect into purpose, because purpose meets us on all levels, doesn't it? And you're very good at achieving whatever it is. So if on a couple of those different levels you haven't quite explored when it comes to your emotions, your creativity, or whatever the case may be, you watch now how much, in this emotional mastery and graduation, as you experience your emotional self and what that means on a soul path, high consciousness kind of view, you watch how much that fuels you now when it comes to drawing in and manifesting and achieving those goals like never before. Because you're already good at that. You do that stuff like the back of your hand. But it's this other stuff, this emotional stuff that you hadn't quite tweaked, you hadn't quite addressed, you were not quite comfortable with, you know. But you watch how this month is about activating that and exploring the mastery of that, and how it ultimately complements all things, all elements of your being, so that you become that life force. Within your kingdom, you feel like this emperor, male or female, you are the ruler of your kingdom. You feel like you have control again over the opportunities that come your way, over how the sun sets and rises, yeah, your schedules, your routines, what nourishes you and gives you life force. You see clearly this month in many ways, you know. The King of Swords, I've mentioned that already, it's strong mental clarity. The Seven of Pentacles, committing and wanting to commit. It's not quite the Ten of Pentacles, but you're getting there and you know it's worth the investment. Okay, you're assessing how much you've invested to date in old routines, old dreams, old purposes. You're revisioning and choosing. This is a crossroads energy when it comes to investment of time, self, money. Okay, you're feeling conflicted. The Five of Swords is definitely a conflict card. You know, you're going to take what you can with you, okay? And you're walking away from conflict when it comes to the emotions. You've got a lot of water energy here, Capricorn, okay? So whether you are connecting into a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, you now have on the table all the people, all the connections that, and maybe there are 4 connections in your life that have transformed your emotions for better or worse, or how you connect to your emotional body. There have been 4 stages in your life, okay? 3 stages in your life. The Page, the Knight, the Queen, and the King of Cups. How emotions were modeled to you by your divine feminine and by your masculine and feminine role models, parents or otherwise. This is you. This is you coming into divine harmony within your emotional body. You might even, you know, as a sun sign, Capricorn, you might have water sign as your Venus. You might have a water sign as your moon sign. You might be connecting into a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, but make no mistake, every reading I have done, the divine counterparts have been showing up. This is your emotional equal. This is someone that you can genuinely feel and express your deeper feelings to. There's a commitment here, you know, wanting this, wanting the connection that I currently have to be this, wanting this and juggling this with my purpose, you know, is another frequency I'm picking up on. But this union happens in self first, Capricorn. Our emotions don't just have a masculine energy, they also have a feminine energy. We not only have to intuitively feel them, receive them, nurture, but we also have to act, which is the masculine energy. It's that energy of going out there, yeah? But you've now got all the counterpart, of the emotions. This is a thorough understanding of how powerful and creative your emotional body can be, really, for your journey, and how it ultimately enhances all other elements of yourself. The Knight of Swords is moving forward quickly, wanting quick action, getting sudden clarity thanks to this Sun and the Ace of Swords, and the Emperor, knowing what direction I want to move in and charge towards. When it comes to purpose, surrendering, releasing guilt, yeah? The Six of Pentacles is that genuine equal reciprocity, wanting equality in what I give and what I get back. It starts with self and being honest about what it is that we're feeling so that we know what needs to be met. The Fool. There's a karmic balancing here. Oh my God. The Judgment card, okay. I do see in the past, okay, the Nine of Swords, there's been a lot of mental staying up at night, anxiousness, overthinking about stuff that happened from the past, a past connection, a past life memory, past relationship, a childhood memory, okay? But you are coming full circle, and there is a karmic ending guaranteed when the Judgment card and the Justice card show up right underneath the Fool. there is no other way to go but to close massive doors on the old version of you. Surrender an old storyline, an old way in which you dealt with your emotions and expressed your feelings, an old way in which you've carried guilt, probably for the longest time. It is time to release this forgiveness energy unto yourself first, and to those that you feel that you're ready to give it to. Because this is a closing of a massive karmic cycle. And you are exploring all of this. You are healing timelines. You are healing deeper pains, perhaps, all thanks to your emotional body. And if it hasn't just started this month, I dare say it would have started in your birthday season, recently gone. Because this energy doesn't just flow in a week and say, hey Capricorn, here's your reading for the week. It doesn't work like that. With the deeper soul stuff, it activates in stages and awareness and awakenings and realizing. A brand new beginning thanks to the Fool card. This is the next chapter, the next journey of you, Capricorn. You're redefining purpose in so many different ways, okay? You are redefining purpose in so many different ways. And you watch what happens, how much clarity there is when it comes to surrender, when it comes to releasing this guilt that you haven't had to carry for a very long time, yeah? You're graduating up the emotional body, emotional awareness of self and life, and really how enriching it is to do so, because in that vulnerability, we really are powerful, because we connect into our authenticity, our truth, and there is joy in being able to freely express our emotions. And there is freedom in expressing the emotions we've held in for too long. Just as there is liberation and an ascension in giving ourselves permission to surrender into feeling the feelings that vibrate us higher. Yeah? Joy, happiness, love, and feeling truly blessed and crystal clear about our purpose and why I am here, why I'm doing this, what my purpose is, who is my why. And connecting into my purpose in that sense has to happen from the heart. We meet ourselves there always, and surrendering to that is a divine gift of love in itself, Capricorn. Okay? Such beautiful May readings with all this retrograde energy, and it's very, very, very healing. I hope you found some resonance in your message today. If so, would love your support. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you have an amazing month, Capricorn, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.